Hello and welcome back to Phantom Fridays, where we proceed to check out all the pony fics that are not pony related. Why? Because there's a movie coming out soon and the girls need their rest. October seems so far away, but I've realized that I have a little bit of a Ruby addiction. And why not? I mean, the show's great, the characters are great, the story's fun, and the fight scenes are great. But I have listened to my doctor, and he said that the best way to get rid of my Ruby fixation is to not read a Ruby fic. So today we're not going to read a Ruby fic. We are going to read a He-Man story. Yep, because we haven't done one of those in about a year since last season. So we're going to read one. Besides, it's either that or try to see what type of randomness Trixie had for me. But then again, I've been doing pretty good. We haven't read a genuinely bad fanfic that wasn't an April Fool's gag or was for my birthday in ages, not since One Piece. Did you guys get this strange feeling that somebody just walked on your grave? No? Me neither. So, let's hit it! Masters of the Universe by Classic Cowboy. So welcome as we here at the Terry Berry Memorial Library are proud to present Masters of the Universe. A long ago, in a time before mankind forgot his past, this world was split between light and dark. The forces of good and the forces of evil clashed for control of this world. A great warrior rose against the world's darkest hour to lead what had become known as the Masters. Now, on the remnant of a once mighty world, corrupted by the darkness of what has become called the ground. Wait, what? Evil grows in power. Those who sworn to defend the good conspire for their own means. Evil grows in power. Those who are sworn to defend the good conspire for their own means. The descendant of the mighty warrior is once again called to take up the inherited sword of power. Together with the last silver-eyed warrior and the power of Greyskull, it will bring hope back to the remnant of Eternia. Wait. No. You guys said that this was a Masters of the Universe fic. This cannot be what I think it is. Masters of the Universe. Someone out there, someone needs me. I don't know how or where, but believe me, I'll walk the universe to find her. John, what are you doing? For better and for worse beside her. For the honor of love, by the power above. Wait a second. I have the power. I have the power. This is a Ruby fic, isn't it? Running away again. This is what you become, my love. Why are you doing this? I were going to change this world, remember? I never wanted this! What you want is impossible. But I understand. All I want is you, Blake. I'll make it my mission to destroy everything you love. Blake, where are you? Starting with her. Get away from her! No! You have to save Pyrrha! Don't worry about me! I have a plan! You'll always have a plan. It was unfortunate you were promised a power that never was truly yours. Do you believe in destiny? Pyrrha! Two silver eyes snapped open and adjusted to the darkness in her chamber, her prison. She watched over this world for many years, as her predecessor had, and her predecessor, and so on and so forth. The long white cloak wrapped around her body, as the falcon hood hid her features in the shadows. A smile tugged on her pale lips as she spotted the small dog run up the steps to her throne. Hello, old friend. I have missed you, the sorceress said, going to one knee to grant the black and white corgi. You cold? Crow Bronwyn and his sister Raven asked, into the dimly lit chamber. Yes, I received a terrible vision of what would come. We are coming to a crossroads of fate, Crow. Are you aware of what Osmond is doing? Sorceress asked, glancing up, still petting and scratching the small dog. He's up to something, but he's keeping mostly close to the vest, the huntsman replied, taking out his flask. Ironwood and Goodwood's are in on it, and the house is looking for a guardian. Likely a replacement for the fallen maiden. That's all about I know. That is unfortunate you haven't learned anything else. He has used his powers to block the eyes of the castle, but I fear it has something to do with the manipulating the line of maidens, the sorceress said, skipping up Sly and stepping down toward her two agents. The witch is using pawns to regain power. I have a theory what her ultimate plan could be. I pray I am mistaken, the sorceress had, saying. Whatever she wants, it's got a lot to do with the maiden powers, Raven said, crossing her arms, glancing away. The three stood in silence. Only panting at the small dog and sorceress's arms filled the room. Finally, she spoke to her agents. Crow, bring me the young man. What? Crow asked, dropping his flask. You can't be serious. He's not ready. He has the fighting skills of a week old puppy. Barely any aura control. Doesn't even know what or what his semblance is, and is way too submissive of that cereal box girl. The sorcerer set the dog down, and then turned to walk towards the elegantly decorated sword case. It is no outer ability or skill, appearance, or power that matters, Crow, the sorcerer said, her silver eyes lying around the box. It's his heart, like the lass who wielded this blade. His heart is pure, like his mother. She said, glancing to Raven before turning to Crow and smiled. He will do. Wait. This fanfic, if I'm reading this correctly, is going to have John get the powers of He-Man. Okay. You sucked me in, Fic. You sucked me in. You just dragged me in there. Okay. I'll bite. Let's do this. John had come to the conclusion he was a horrible team leader. Sure, they had won their matches, and things were looking great, but he still needed to work out the details and train. And at that moment, not a single one of his teammates was anywhere to be found. Nor Valkyrie disappearing wasn't now the realm of control. She was busy partying with Ed. And I mean Radical Edward. That's a scary thought. Never let me think about that again. Same with Lyren chasing after his arguably insane partner. Now Ark's own power, Pierre Nico's disappearing. That was a new thing, and one that struck him oddly. It almost felt like the times Weiss and Team Ruby rejected his advances. But he wasn't sure why he felt this way about his best friend / partner. It looks like you got a lot on your mind, kid. A gruff voice spoke up, drawing John's attention. Young Stone Huntsman looked up to see Ruby's Uncle Crow screwing the lid back on his flask. I guess. John scratched the back of his head awkwardly. Well, you're about to get more, Crow said, walking up to the young man. Come on, walk with me. In here, you'll need this, he said, handing him the flask. John looked at the steel container in his hand, back up to the elder huntsman. I'm not really old enough to drink. Kid, if you're old enough to fight the Grim, Crow smirked, you're old enough to drink, have sex, smoke, get married, have kids, whatever. And what we have to talk about, you're probably going to go alcoholic. John glanced at him strangely as he was led to a side alley. He stopped and frowned when Crow continued toward a small woman standing in the shadows, wearing close to all black and knee-length boots, which was color was the red mixed into her gi and she chose as a top. And on her back rested a large hinder in its sheath, on her face a grim mask of 4 eyes. What's going on? John asked, while placing a hand on his sword. Relax, kid. This is Raven, my sister. She's a bitch. She's on our side. She's just gonna get us to where you need to be. Crow said, Right, Rave, open a gate. And if you can do it without being too much of a bitch. Raven studied John a moment longer, before she hit a switch on the large seats that rotated the multiple controlled dust blades until it landed on the one she required. With a long red katana blade. On a single long slash, she opened up a crimson portal, and signaled for Crow and John to enter. Well, come on. Can't keep delaying rain, Crow said as he walked into the portal. Raven nodded to the boy, and John reluctantly followed Crow. As if simply walking through a doorway, John found himself in a massive stone chamber lit by multiple torches. He saw Crow stepping before a large stone stairway, leading to a throne, woman white saying patiently. What's this? John asked, as Raven took a place on the other side of the throne. Welcome, John Ark, to Castle Greyskull, the woman white said, standing up. Castle Greyskull? John asked. Looking around, the woman patiently made her way down. Yes, indeed, the woman said as she made the final step and continued towards the young huntsman in training. And I am the latest woman to hold the honor of being the sorceress of Greyskull. Congrats! John scratched his head awkwardly. So, what can I do for you? It's not what you could do for me, John, Sorceress said, pulling her falcon-like headdress back slightly to reveal a face that was very familiar to the young man. She looked almost identical to Ruby Rose, down to the silver eyes. Whoa! Red Like Roses Part 2 does start playing in my head now that summer does showed up. No, it is what you could do for all of Remnant. So, if Summer is sorceress, Crow is one of her retainers, and Raven is one of her retainers. Dude! Tayang just got chipped out of this arrangement! Still, could somebody please tell Tayang that I found his, wives? I have a feeling he has a lot of catching up to do. Oh, better also tell, Yang and Ruby about this. I'm sorry, but I'm sure there's others better suited, like Pyrrha, Nora, Ren, or any of the girls at Ruby, to say nothing of Professor Osmond. John suggested nervously. Or that Carolina girl. John likes Carolina. He doesn't know why. I like barely even hanging in with my studies. If it wasn't for Pyrrha's tutoring, I've already flunked out. At the mention of Osmond's name, the sorceress' silver eyes darkened almost angrily. Each of your friends will have a role to play. But you, my friend, have a very unique destiny. You have a choice, and it will affect not only each of your friends, but the fate of Beacon, Vale, and the whole world. You stand at a crossroad, John, the sorcerer stated. Forces that stand for good and evil have both fallen into the corruptive state of selfish desires and personal control, sacrificing for what is good and what is safety. It is time for the Guardian to return. You, descendant of King Adam, son of Randor, and Queen Tila, sorcerers of Greyskull, are chosen. What do you mean? I don't understand at all. John shook his head. So, in this universe, now that we see Adam having a son, I kind of have to ask, what happened to Shira in Etheria? Did she marry Hawk, and in her universe, her child is in fact, her grandchild is in fact, maybe Carolina? Allow me to show you what will come past if things go unchanged, the sorceress said, touching her fingertips to John's temple. John's eyes widened as he found himself in the final tournament area. He looked around and saw Pyrrha and another girl. Ruby's friend Penny, if he recalled, face to face about the battle. Penny released her flowing blades. John turned quickly to see Pyrrha's eyes glaze over. Sudden fear washed over her eyes. Emerald Sistrai, the sorceress said from John's side, pointing towards a tan-skinned, green-haired girl, staring with a hard focus on Pyrrha. This is the moment everything changes. Emerald semblance is the ability to create illusions, to make people see non-existent things no one else can. Like when Yang attacked that Mercury guy, John mused. Sully gasped when Pyrrha freaked and extended her arms. sending the blades and their barely visible strings back towards their opponent, and to his horror ripped the girl apart. An agent of the Grim, Cinderfall manipulated the tournament all the way to this point. Sorceress explained as the series changed the courtyard of Beacon Academy, overwhelmed by the creatures of Grim. Fang troopers are rampaging Atlas droids, and high above, a grim dragon circled the tower. John watched in horror as he saw his friends and classmates forced back, some having to be carried due to injuries. You and our friends will stand, Sorceress stated, glancing around in fiery chaos. You will fight, but in the end, Beacon will fall, and heavy prices will pay. John suddenly found himself and the sorceress standing inside a burning building. Blake! John gasped when he saw her on the ground, a red-headed fauness at his feet. I am going to destroy everything you love, Blake, the masked fauness growled. Blake! Blake, where are you? Yang's voice could be heard outside the building. Blake's eyes widened in horror. Starting with her, the masked fauness said, stabbing John's friend in the stomach. He jumped to try to defend her, but only passed through her attacker. Get away with her! Yang screamed as tears formed in her crimson eyes, and her hair exploded in fire. No one will leave this battle without scars, Sorcerer said, glancing away from the scene. Adam Taurus, leader of the White Fang, will make sure of that. John's eyes widened before he glanced away as Adam's sword met Yang's punch, slicing completely through her arm, sending the unconscious girl to the ground as her aura tried desperately to heal the severe wound to her arm. When he opened his eyes, he and the sorceress were in the ruins of Professor Osmond's office atop Beacon Tower. Pyrrha slanted to one of the few remaining pillars. It slid down as her aura collapsed. Pyrrha! John gasped, glancing quickly to see whom his partner was fighting against. He narrowed his eyes when he recognized the dark-haired transfer student from Haven. Get up, Pyrrha! John whispered as her enemy formed a bow and arrow in her hands and aimed it at his best friend. Okay, how many of you people watching this had the same feeling when you saw Pyrrha going through this? Although, I suppose I should put in spoiler warning. Pyrrha, in a last-ditch attack, threw her shield at her foe as she let loose an arrow. The arrow broke into ash and around the shield before reforming and striking Pyrrha in the ankle. No! John cried as he watched his friend fall, struggled desperately to get back up. It's unfortunate. You were promised a power that never truly was yours. The student, John recalled, his name was Cinder. Cinder dolls? All part of a nefarious plan. No. Cinder malls? This is what students wear, right? No. Cinder balls, that's it. Roll praise declared. No, my nefarious plans! Stated as he paraded around the fallen Pyrrha. But take comfort in knowing I will use it in ways you would never imagine, she said, reforming her bow again, standing point blank before the kneeling Pyrrha. No! John shook his head. Please, no! Do you believe in destiny? Pyrrha asked, glancing defiantly at her enemy. Yes, Cinder stated, releasing the arrow. John gasped in anguish as it pierced completely through Pyrrha's chest and now her back. John fell to his knees and found himself yet again at the confines of Castle Greysküll. That is the path of destiny as it is now, John Ark, Sorceress stated, standing over him. Your friends will suffer, some will die, yet the battle will go on. I am unclear what the ultimate outcome will be, merely because Volume 5 hasn't come out yet. But I sense great pain for you and your surviving friends. I don't know, that Nekafov fight was awesome! But it was coming now, John said, shaking his head. I can change things! You can try, but by your power, you will fail. Sorceress explained. It's summer! Can we just say it's summer already? Turning and walking towards an elaborate sword case, marked with a golden symbol of 8 stylized as a bird. By your power, it will be impossible to save Yang, Blake, Osmond, Pyrrha. So many will die. And I fear even with the knowledge of what is to come, by your power, there's nothing you can do. It is an impossibility. That destiny is in motion. So we're going with the 2003 He-Man Blade. Dude, why did you show it to me? John asked angrily. Is this some sort of sick game? It is no game, John Ark. Sorcerer said, opening a case revealed the similarly white steel sword. It was long, with a few runes carved into the blade, and a four curved handguards before the leather-wrapped handle. By your power, it's an impossibility, Sorcerer said, removing the sword from his case. But by the power of Greyskull, the impossible becomes very possible. With this sort of power, Sorcerers explained, you will be transformed into a mighty warrior. Whereas the creatures are grand fighting off negative emotions of the world, fear, hatred, sadness, anxiety, you will draw upon the positive emotions, hope, faith, joy, happiness, love. And with that power, you'll become He-Man. The most powerful man in the universe. This idea is so ridiculously awesome. There are no words. John studied his metallic weapon before Sorcerer spoke of again. But there is a catch. What's the catch? John frowned. With the power you have, you must strictly keep your identity a secret. You must draw away from those who care about you. Alienate yourself. Even those whom you trust could be used to take your secret and be used against you. Until the time you no longer need this power, you must walk a lonely road. Unless the author decides to add She-Ra into the mix. We have given you a lot to think about, John. Sorceress placed the sword back in his case. You had time to think about it. The path you chose is for you to decide, and you alone. Raven will open a gate for you back to Beacon. And when the time comes, should you decide to take the power, the sword will be provided to you. She motioned towards the Mouse Huntress. Yet, regardless of your choice, may the power of Greyskull guide and protect you. Always. John thanked her with a nod before walking through the portal Raven created. Do you think you will do it? Raven asked as the portal closed. Doubt it, Crow said, taking a swig from the many flasks. Oh, we should have gone with the sister. She's the fire. So, okay. Where is she? Where's She-Ra? Where's Adora? Come on! Work for me! Pure and Nikos walked numbly from the Beacon Tower towards the cafeteria. The offer Professor Osmond, Goodwitch, and General Ironwood offered her was more than she really could comprehend. The Fall Maiden was dying. They wanted her to take the powers. She felt more unworthy, more than anything scared. Take that would mean that she would not only lose her friends, herself, but also John. She began hints of hope lately, that perhaps, mainly, he might have feelings for her too. And now this. She needed to think. Her mind was swirling with thoughts when she rounded the corner of the cafeteria building, her breath caught in her throat when she found John was sitting on the ground with his back against the wall, one arm resting on his knee and face looking skyward, as he was searching for something. She had seen him struggle, but never seen him so lost. John? She asked as she slowly, timidly approached, frightened how he would respond to her interruption. Hey, John said, turning to smile at the redhead. A smile she easily noticed didn't reach his eyes. Sorry, been hiding out. Just got a lot of things on my mind. You do tend to lose focus at times, John. Pierre smiled happily as he sat down beside him. Want to talk about it? John and Pierre sat in silence for several moments before he gathered his thoughts. Pierre, what would you do? Well, that's a broad question. What's the situation? She asked, turning her emerald eyes on him fully. What if you found out that everyone you know and care about were in great danger? John started. And you were given an opportunity to save not just them, but everyone in the whole world. But you have to lose yourself. Give up everything and everyone. Her heart raced as he described her very situation. Did he know? Was he overhearing them somewhere? Did Professor Osmond or one of the others tell him? Would it be worth sacrificing yourself so others would live? Or be selfish to want to try and keep going on your own, so you could be together with those you care about? Monster stared blankly at him for several minutes, before he was suddenly tackled to the ground by a trembling redhead. Pyrrha! He asked as he clung to him. We're gonna be okay, John. Pyrrha half sobbed onto his shoulder as he wrapped his arms around her. One way or another, we're gonna be okay. The two Miss Nora and Ren started to approach, but making a quick face and about face and quickly leaving them to themselves. Pyrrha? He asked her after several moments. Yes? Do you believe in destiny? He asked in a choked whisper. I don't know anymore, Pyrrha whispered. I used to, but now I'm afraid to. Will you two just kiss already? God, I am busy playing every single Arcos-style romance song in my head right now. You two better start making out. Me too. John held her tightly. Why are you asking? John seemed worked out to bravely ask. John opened his mouth to respond when the voice called out on the loudspeaker. Would the representative of Beacon's Academy, Team Juniper, please report to the ready room for the next round of tournament? Repeat. Would the representative of Beacon's Academy, Team Juniper, please report to... Time to go to work. Pierre nestled in John's neck. Be continued? Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. Yeah, I want to talk about a lot of things, John said archly as Pierre forced herself off of him. As soon as the match is finished, we'll find a quiet place to talk, she said as her cheeks colored. There's things I must speak with you about as well. Good luck, John said. And Pyrrha, I got your back. As he glanced back and smiled appreciatively as the two made their way to the arena. As Pyrrha prepared for her match with Penny Poninda, John joined his teammate Nora Valkyrie and Lai ran in the stands. Hey, John, Nora said oddly as John sat down beside her. Did you have a good day, John? She asked with a light grin. Did anything notable happen today, John? What? John asked his petite redhead. I'm just curious if anything happened when Ren and I weren't around. John, Nora said with a smile so wide, John wondered how the top of her head stayed on. I don't know if you and Pierre had any time to catch up and have anything happen. Did something happen, John? Nora, are you busy writing your lemons again? Can I read them? This is getting kind of weird, Nora. John blinked to ease away from the girl. Ren sighed and glanced at his friend. What Nora's trying to say is we saw you and Pierre in a rather compromising position outside the cafeteria. So, is this happening? Nora asked with an almost insane excitement. We had some rough times and we needed a shoulder. As friends, John said, avoiding eye contact with both his teammates. He missed Ren's knowing smile and Nora's disappointed pout. As friends, Ren repeated oddly. But John glanced away and focused on the arena as Pierre's and Penny's fight began. John's eyes narrowed as he saw something change in Pierre's demeanor. He stood up and realized the image from his vision, the sorceress, began to take shape. If he was going to change something, he had to move fast. John? Nora said, nosing him get up. John! She screamed when he tilted seats in front of them, and bolted towards the arena floor. Meanwhile, above them, Errol smiled as he waited for the perfect time to make a play. Using Pierre's own semblance against her to trigger Cinder's grand plan. As the red-headed android launched all her blades in the air, she knew it was time. The green-haired girl held out a hand towards the Spartan. Suddenly Pierre saw a multitude of countless blades poised to attack her. Fear washed over Pierre at the incoming onslaught. Before she could release her magic semblance, she was tackled to the ground away from the arena floor. What? She gasped, trying to see who had attacked her, only to freeze when she saw John over her. John? John! Ruby rose to ask from the side arena. What are you doing? She yelled as the announcer declared Pierre's disqualification. Friend Ruby, something is wrong, Penny said, glancing around the area. Miss Pierre's friend would not have done that if he didn't think something was wrong. But, Ruby! she yelled, running at superhuman speed before the red-hooded girl. Penny? Ruby asked as her mechanical friend jerked as a large bullet tore for his friend's body. Penny! Oh, wait, Ruby! Penny yelled as 2 more shots tore through her. F you. You killed Penny again, you motherfucking... No! Jaune said, sitting up beside Pyrrha as they watched in horror as sniper bullets tore the mechanical girl apart. No! Ruby cried as she caught her friend, held her in her arms. This isn't how it was supposed to happen, Jaune said under his breath. Ruby, I received critical damage. Penny reached in the crying girl's arms. Hold on, Penny. You'll be okay, Ruby whispered before looking at her, calling out. Help! Someone! Help me! Ruby, when Penny slurred, will I dream? Penny! Ruby breathed, tears rolling down her cheeks. I thank you, friend Ruby. Penny smiled up at her, her voice growing deeper with more mechanical each word. Before you, I never had a friend. It made me feel human. She finished, going limp in Ruby's arms. Ruby lowered her friend's face to her friend's chest and cried loudly. This is not a tragedy. This was not an accident. This is what happens when you hand over your trust, your safety, your children to men who claim to be your guardians. But in our reality, nothing more than men. Our academy's headmasters wield more power than most armies, and one was audacious enough to control both. Woman's voice. Then was changed to a cinder fall. Oh, that's who she is! Spoke through the speakers of the arena. It's still happening, Jaune growled, clenching his fists and standing up beside Pyrrha, who was focused on the nightmare before her. The cinder continued her speech. Now noticed the look of pure despair washing over Jaune's face. Looked to see Ren and Nora on the floor across the arena by Ruby and Penny's body. He stared at his teammates. He slowly turned to see Pyrrha looking across the crowd helplessly. This is it, Jaune said, whispering to himself. He realized that this was the crossroad the sorceress at Greyskull told him of. He focused on his eyes on Pyrrha's face. It sounded sadly. He had to say goodbye. He could have let them be hurt. He could have let them die. He knew what he had to do, even with that hefty price. He was so deep in thought he didn't see the massive Nevermore burst through the shielded roof of the arena, nor did he even move as the student huntsmen and huntresses battled and killed the Grim. Ruby, I'm so sorry, Pyrrha said as he approached the younger huntress. Ruby smiled and nodded her thanks as Jaune numbly approached Pyrrha with her sword and shield. Me too, but it wasn't your fault, Ruby replied. She's right, it was the one on the microphone, Jaune said, holding Pyrrha's weapons to her. I had to make sure they don't take anyone. Anyone? He closed his eyes tightly as Pyrrha took her weapons from him. I can't. I'm sorry, Pyrrha. I'm so sorry, he said, turning and running for the exit. Jaune? Jaune! Don't go, Pyrrha called after him, weakly. Oh, no, you don't! Nora growled angrily, running after behind her team leader. Jaune ran as fast as he could down the stairs to the tower, huffing and puffing as he exited past the rampaging Grim and huntsmen and huntresses fighting them. He continued out of the camp, surrounding the tower, looking for some secure place. Finally, making it up into the war zone that was Vale, he ran to the side alley. Raven! Crow! Sorceress! Jaune called out. I'll accept! I'll do it! Jaune looked around. Sorceress! They need help! What do I do? Tell me what to do! Arr, arr! Jaune turned to see Ruby and Annie's corgi, Sly, standing with the sword of power at his feet. Arr! He yelled again, before picking up the sword again and walking toward the youth. I'm having problems trying to decide who's cuter, you or I, Sly. Arr! Jaune took the sword from Sly and gazed at it. Shimmering, almost white steel of the blade showed his reflection. The sorcerer's words returned to his mind. By the power of Greyskull, the impossible becomes very possible. By the power of Greyskull? John breathed, and a spark of electricity ran up the tip of the blade. A strange instinct filled him, like a forgotten memory. Everybody, all you fans of He-Man, get ready. He raised aloft the power sword over his head and loudly, boldly claimed, "By the power of Greyskull! He-Man! Do-do, ba-ba-ba-bum-bum, ba-dum, da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-da-dum." The moment the words left his lips, he felt his aura rocket up his arm to the sword of power. This exploded in a blinding light. It shot high into the sky and expanded over all of Bale and Beacon. The wave of light expanded far and wide before returning with more intensity along lightning bursts of positive energy, turning the darkest of nights into day. A few of unlucky Nevermore were caught in the lightning-like bursts and were instantly obliterated, as the unworldly light show brought the fight between Hunters and Grimm and White Fang into a temporary pause. Even Cinder herself paused, preparing to enter Beacon Tower. A frown of dread crossed her face. As quickly as the light show ended, with a loud, deep voice echoing throughout, "I have the power!" the voice yelled out loudly, before following by an almost demonic howl. Oh, you didn't. You did not. Please, sweet baby Celestia, tell me you did not just. No. I'm going to suspect that it did not just do what I think it did to. This is why. Not far from there, Yang Xiaolong paused in her search of her partner Blake, seeing the intense energy in a loud voice. "Whoever that is, hope he's on our side." She frowned, moving through the burning buildings. "Blake!" she called out. "Blake, where are you?" "Blake!" she called again. It froze when she heard her friend call out in pain. "Blake!" She turned to see a masked horned faunus, dressed in black, stabbing her in the abdomen. "Get away from her!" she cried out as the faunus turned towards her with a confident smirk on his face. Her semblance exploding in sparkling flame around her, as her blue eyes shone crimson red. With a roar of rage, she lifted a bow, ready to give him the pain that she had given her best friend 10 times over with a super punch. Blake's eyes widened in shock, and Yang's flare closed in shock, as the out torso's blade sliced completely through her arm, severing it. "Yang!" Blake called out, trying to shield her injured, unconscious partner with her own body. "Leave her alone." "You heard the Lady Taurus," a deep voice called out from behind the White Fang leader. "Has no one ever taught you to respect a woman?" "Who or what are you?" Do you people ever think that the reason why sometimes He-Man can be so cocky and so pun-filled and so cheesy in some of his dialogue is because Adam himself actually thinks that that is the way he should be? I mean, let's pretend for a moment that I'm not just talking out my ass when it comes to the ideals of what the power can do. But let's say for a moment that what if the sword of power is just releasing Adam's inner heroicness, like it releases Tiger's inner battle cat? So all that cockiness is everything that Adam wishes he could be? "Who or what are you?" Adam turned to see a massive, powerful-looking man glaring with hard blue eyes. Shaggy blonde hair hung about his head, and his skin was a dark tan. His legs were covered in almost armored leggings, and under a pair of fur briefs, and matching fur boots, and a large metallic belt. His powerful chest and arms were completely covered, except his chest plate, with the metallic straps across his shoulders and along his bottom ribs. In the center of his chest plate was a red H stylized like a bird. In his hand was a shining white steel sword. "I'll be with you in a moment," the massive, at least 7 foot tall, muscle man said, gently picking up Yang's severed arm. Then he approached Blake and Yang. "Don't worry, Blake. I'm here to help," he said gently. going to one knee beside the injured Huntress. He placed the severed arm where it should be, and watched as her arm weakly healed and tried to heal her wound. He closed his eyes and laid a flat the sword of power as it crossed her arm. By the power of Greyskull, let this wound be healed, he commanded, and the sword of power exploded in blinding light. Yang's fingers extended before clenching the fists. The stranger lifted his sword, just as a light scar on the girl's arm. What happened? Yang's eyes fluttered over, looking exhausted. Your aura is almost drained. Yang, rest. You're safe, he said, squeezing her hand comfortably. Blake, watch over her. We'll deal with your friend. He stood up and turned to face Adam. You know, the He-Man fan in me is just going... It's trying its best not to laugh at the scenario. Standing potentially between the girls and the White Fang Leer. It will be in your best interest, friend, if you lay down your weapon and turn yourself to the proper authorities, the mountain man said, seizing the sword on his back. Only a fool puts away his weapon in battle. Are you confident enough to fight me, and are you barehanded? Adam growled. I'm not going to fight you. He shook his head. I'm just warning you. Stand down. If you won't fight me, how do you propose making me stand down? Adam laughed. Are you going to talk me down, muscle man? No, I won't. Here's the thing, Adam. A smirk crossed the much taller man's lips. I have a great deal of care for these two young women, he said, but my friend loves them a lot more, and his temper is a lot shorter than mine. You were warned. Adam's eyes widened behind his mask when he heard the sound of massive feet stomping behind him. You did not. So that's something very, very angry. He slowly turned to see a pair of glowing yellow eyes behind a red armored faceplate. He took a step back to see the faceplate was an incredibly large black and white wolf. Behind the armored faceplate was a matching armored saddle. The beast's fangs were massive, as were its claws. What? Beats Warhound. I'm done. I'm done. I can't get more awesome than that. Give me a moment. Meet Warhound, the man said. He's not happy to make your acquaintance, and I would avoid any sudden movements if I were you. Adam lashed out with his sword, but the beast caught his blade in his foaming mouth, and tossed it aside before lashing onto his entire arm. I did warn you, the man said. Warhound began to shake White Fang's leer as if he were a stuffed doll, pounded his body against the uncovered forgiving floor. Blake watched with wide eyes. While part of her still cared for what was once this young man pain, he a larger part enjoyed seeing him in obvious pain. The mighty beast felt the broken leer lay in the broken floor, wheezing for breath. You didn't kill him. I'm impressed, my friend, the man said, patting Warhound's neck. Blake, can you get Yang to the port? The man said, mounting Warhound's side saddle. She nodded and helping Yang to stand. Who are you? He glanced at the girls for a moment before finally speaking up. I am He-Man, and I am a friend, he said, turning Warhound towards Beacon Tower. Now if you excuse us, be safe. To the tower, Warhound! He-Man called, and his partner howled a moment before jumping on towards the tower, running at full sprint. He-Man? Blake asked in confusion. Yeah, and I know exactly who he is, Yang said, lowering her head a moment. He's the daddy to my future babies, as he said, earning an eye roll from her partner. Chapter 2. Yeah! Ruby Rose yelled as he brought up her sniper sight. The crescent rose to her available skull. Vivi, listen, Many! Her partner, White Sneak, cried out as she slashed out with her sword, marking there. I'm running low on dust, and I know you have to be running low on ammo. Don't hold any running low on grim and Atlas mechs. We had to get through. Pierre and Professor Osmond are still in the tower, Ruby said, looking up at the central tower of Beacon Academy, just before the massive group of Grimm and robots. Ice's eyes widened when her scroll beat. She quickly pulled it back and Ruby ducked for cover. Blake, Where are you? Did you find Nine? Yes, but we are both not in fighting shape. We're trying to get to the port, Blake replied. Are you at the tower? Yeah. Pierre said that Professor Osborne was fighting that woman that caused all this. Then we lost contact. Riri replied to her teammate. We had to help her, but we can't get through these Grim. Don't worry, you have help on the way, Blake said. He's big. Yang! She called in a sound as a small scuffle was heard. I called dibs! Yang's voice piped in. What? Ruby and Weiss looked at each other. Dibs! They have been called! Yang started with authority. Dibsity dibs! Blake, did Yang get a blow to the head? Ruby quirked an eyebrow. Well, she did get a big hit, but... Blake started to explain. Then a roar sounded directly behind the two girls. Ruby and Weiss turned out to see Warhound with He-Man upon his back jump over them. The towering muscle man dismounted from the giant, armored wolf-like dog, and the two began to destroy Grim and robots with ease. Wow. Ruby breathed down the sight of the heroes. Dibs! Yang yelled through the scroll. What was that, Yang? You're bugging up. Weiss said, her blue eyes wide, and focused on the rock-hard muscle back of the warrior. Dibs! Yang could be heard calling as Weiss closed the scroll. Are you two okay? He-Man asked, glancing towards Ruby and Weiss, who were staring back in shock. Ruby had his face and Weiss had his chest. Never better. Weiss flushed slightly. Do either of you know where Pyrrha and Osmond are? Weiss pointed towards the tower, and the very top exploded. Ah, thank you. He smiled as a Beowulf jumped towards him, only to be tabicated from a shot of crescent rose. And thank you. He-Man flexed his muscles a moment, before lifting his fist, growing with effort, sliding his fist to the ground. He impacted a shockwave towards the Grim and Atlas mech, steady and fall to the ground. Do you two think you can handle it from here? He said with a glance towards Ruby and Weiss. Weiss nodded slowly, while Ruby stepped up. Not saying we don't appreciate it, but who are you? Why are you helping us, stranger? I'm just here to help, he said, climbing up to Warhound's back, then said softly, a stranger, so it's a friend you haven't met yet. What's that? Nothing. If able, I'll be back with Professor and Miss Nikos, He-Man said, turning Warhound towards the tower. Warhound, up! He commanded, and was now Warhound leapt to the side of the tower, sinking his claws upon the tip of his paws into the side of the tower and began running up the wall. Fear clutched Pyrrha Nikos' heart, as he refused to show the woman pacing around any of it. Her aura was drained to the point that she knew her wound to her ankle was not healing, and the pain was atrocious. Steve asserted she was bleeding all over in the ruins of the office. It's a shame you were promised a power that was not truly yours, Cinder stated confidently as he paced, but take comfort in knowing I will use it in ways you never imagined. Pierre's tired but defiant eyes looked up into Cinder's glowing yellow ones. Do you believe in destiny? She asked, as Cinder reformed her bow. Yes, Cinder said quietly, drawing back an arrow and aiming it at Pierre's chest. The arrow was loosed, but Cinder's eyes widened when the spinning sword flew into it, while launching a stone floor across them. What? She asked, turning to see He-Man dismounting Warhound. You've caused a lot of trouble today, He-Man stated, scurrying at Cinder. Ignoring Cinder completely, the warrior walked over to stun Pyrrha, looked down to one knee beside her. You're hurt, he said with an angry edge deep in his voice. Who? Pyrrha asked, gasping when he scooped up Briar style, then carried her over to Warhound. It's okay. You fought your fight. Let me take it from here, he said, standing on her saddle. Warhound, get her to the pier, my friend, he said, patting the giant wolf's neck. I'll be okay. Take care of Pyrrha. Keep her safe. Thank you. Pyrrha tried to ask what was going on, but the large armored wolf turned quickly, jumped from the top of the tower. Now then, it's just me and you, He-Man said, diving out of the way of a fire blast, holding in his hand for the sword of power. It instantly dislodged from the stone and flew to his hand. You have the Fall Maiden's power, He-Man said, standing at full height. Yet you are not answering to the call that comes with it. I answer to no one and no thing, Cinder growled. You don't have to do this, you know, He-Man stated, holding his sword to his side. Excuse me? Cinder was slightly taken aback. Give yourself up, he said, holding out a hand to her. I give you my word, I'll make sure you're treated with respect and given a fair trial. And why do you ever expect me to do that? Cinder almost laughed. Because no one ever wakes up and decides they're going to attack a school or a tournament, He-Man stated. No one wakes up and decides they're going to hurt people. Something caused you to be like this. Someone or something hurt you, and I want to help. And this one help you. Yeah. Cinder seemed taken aback before her eyes began to glow again. Are a fool! She raised blaze of flames towards him, quickly lifted his sword on his back to attack. To crept me in surprise. The sword of power seemed to absorb every last bit of her attack. What? How? Her eye could respond. The sword glowed bright red and released the same attack right back at Cinder. Cinder screamed as the blast struck her directly in the face, catching her clothing and hair on fire. Cinder! He-Man called, moving quickly towards the screaming woman. Before he could reach her, though, the Grim Dragon responded to his mistress's cry, swooped down, attacking the warrior. He-Man yelped as he was knocked from the top of the tower. A stab of the sword and fall of the tower slowed his descent, before falling backwards to the fountain. Are you okay? Ruby asked as he and Weiss ran to the warrior's side. Get back! He-Man called, seeing the dragon driving towards him. He quickly hit as the two girls dove away, as the dragon slammed his claws to the fountain. You caught messes! Weiss squeaked against his chest, his arm tight around her chest. Apparently, he said, seeing the two huntresses down. So does this guy. He-Man met the dragon's diving snap of his jaws, a massive punch to the nose. The girls watched as the warrior jumped into battle with the dragon. You got muscles. Really? Ruby asked with a wave of her hand. Did I go to heaven? Weiss replied. We're in the middle of the fight. Can we talk about this later? He-Man jumped to the side as the dragon slashed down with his claw. You are a fast one. He then gasped, playing slapped him and sending him flying towards one of the pillars around the tower. And you're strong. But that thing isn't a pushover. You're right. Weiss, we had to help him. Ruby transformed Crescent's Rose into his rifle mode. Ice Flower! He called out. Ruby nodded and made a few intricate movements, creating a glyph before the barrel of Ruby's rifle. Ruby fired a series of rounds that passed through Weiss's glyph, creating patches of ice on the dragon. I have to pierce its scales, He-Man growled, grabbing the power sword. Then let's get to cutting, Ruby smiled, extending Crescent Rose back into scythe mode. Ruby ran and passed He-Man, her eyes drawn to his sword. Something about it drew her to it, almost like a flower rising from the sun. The shimmering silver metal almost seemed to feed her. Ruby, what? Weiss asked, eyes going wide as Ruby's eyes, and Crescent Rose's blades began to glow a bright silver. The hunter seemed to go into a daze. She moved with speed far greater than she ever had before. The glowing blades of her scythe cut through the dragon's armor-like scales if made of paper. She dodged it as he snapped and clawed at her, but he kept on the attack. Or she pulled the trigger to rocket herself back, giving He-Man a nod as he glanced back at his side. His blue eyes focused on a series of deep cuts in the center of the Grim Dragon's chest, where it launched itself forward. The tip of a sword of power aimed for the X-like wound. With a roar, both champion and dragon, the sword plunged itself deep into his chest. Still alive! Weiss cried out, as the dragon lifted his head, preparing to strike at his attacker. Grinning his teeth, He-Man tightened the grip on the sword, then boldly called out, By the power of Greyskull! The sword exploded into white light, as the dragon threw its head back in pain, seeing light erupting from its eyes, nose, and mouth. Its entire body tightened as it screamed in pain before it exploded back into black smoke, bright light. Instead of descending smoke, He-Man stood growling, gripped the tip of his sword with his free hand, and pulled it towards his chest, flexing his powerful muscles. I have the power! Well, Ruby breathed as the girl stared at the hero. Now, where was I? He glanced up to see a Nevermore taking flight with the injured Cinder in his talons. Won't be the last time we'd see of her. He-Man frowned before turning to girls as Warhound with Pyrrha approached. Have no fear. We will get you all to port to meet the others. He offered a hand to Ruby and Weiss. Care for a lift? He-Man lifted Ruby and Weiss, set them on his shoulders. Alright, girls, let's go, he advised. Gladly. Weiss smiled slightly as he gripped his shoulder strap. Her cheeks colored as he felt his vessel's shoulder. Messes, she murmured under her breath. Warhound, come! He said, leaping into the highway, screaming Weiss, squealing, tearing Ruby. This image is awesome in my head, by the way. His partner right beside Pyrrha, holding her best as he could with his saddle. He then glanced toward Ruby and White's perched on his shoulders. Hold on, ladies. Here we go. With that, they were off, running and jumping through the city at breakneck speeds, with Warhound and Pyrrha right beside them. What would have been a long hike through the city took only minutes. At the dock, all remaining hunters and huntresses were gathered. Gerald, James Ironwood, and Blake stood to the side as Professor Goodwitz looked over Yang's arm. This is astounding. It looks like he has a completely healed scar. You have full movement, it seems. I still want you to have it checked out. Who did you say did this? Him, Blake said, pointing his He-Man Warhound right to the girls. I called dibs. Yang growled, glaring with red eyes at her sister and Weiss, who were seated on the hero's shoulders. The powerful warrior gently lifted the girls with one hand, each, and set them down before him. I need a medic, He-Man called out, turning to Warhound and the pale, exhausted Pyrrha. With gentle hands, he lifted her up into a cradle and turned towards the group. What happened? Professor Goodwitz asked as he and Ironwood rushed toward him. He tried to have a fight with Cinder Fall. The one behind us attacked, He-Man stated, glancing down to the barely conscious redhead. She was killed. I don't want to imagine what would have happened if I had not made it to her in time. I'm glad you did. Was there any sign of Professor Osmond? Goodwitz said, using her crown to summon a stretcher. No, He-Man said, placing her gently on the stretcher. No sign of him. He's dead, Pyrrha said softly, tired green eyes opening and slowly sitting on the cot. He took on that woman and she made it out. And he didn't. I did not see him letting her escape, or leaving her living alive, Pyrrha said sadly. The group lowered her head somberly. Not that we're complaining of your assistance, stranger, Ironwood said, looking at the warrior. But who are you? You never studied history, did you, Jimmy? Crow said, walking up with a knife on his shoulder. You're standing before a living legend. Living legend? Ironwood asked, in annoyance at the often drunk huntsman. Without remnant's history, in its darkest hours, the guardian of Greyskull would appear and stand against the darkness, usually at the call of silver-eyed warriors, Crow said. With Beacon being attacked, who could possibly be the last of the Silver Line in danger? Are you surprised He-Man will return? I have silver eyes, Ruby said softly, confused at what he has to do with this towering warrior. Yeah, you do, kiddo, Crow said, placing a hand on her shoulders. It means a lot more than you realize, at least yet. Thank you, Guardian. Ironwood bowed to the warrior, then turned to the group of tired and eager student huntresses and huntsmen. Team leaders, I need to have any missing students reported immediately for search and rescue. Where's John? Ryan asked from Pierre's bedside, as Nora simply stared at He-Man. Hold on. Pierre pulled out her scroll, and instantly all the tiredness lit her eyes and panic and adrenaline filled her veins. Oh God, no, she said as she saw her. Nora and Ren's weakened but active aura levels. But John was grayed out 0. She took as he dialed his number. John, please pick up. Pick up. She said, tears began to form in her eyes. She began to send video texts. John, where are you? She asked the scroll. John, where should you go? Please, answer this, please. Please, oh God, please, don't leave me. She whispered, breaking into sobs as Ren placed an arm around her, while Nora continued to glare at He-Man as to say, do something. Let's go. See if we can find any of them, He-Man said, turning and jumping on Warhound's back. If I find your friend, I'll send him your way. Maybe. His scroll was damaged or something, he said, kicking Warhound aside and jumped off into the night. Once he was gone a good distance away, dismounted Warhound and drew the sword of power held it high in the air. Let the power return. The flashlight, He-Man Warhound was replaced by Zahn and Soul. No, I'm not getting over that. This is too hilarious. Oh, you don't see it. I'm being turned into a giant badass wolf. Well, that was a thing, John said, pulling out a scroll, surprised to see his aura level remained flatline. What? He blinked in confusion. Well, Slide just wagged his tail at him. Before he could think anything more of it, he began receiving Pierce's messages, followed by Ruby and even Weiss. He closed the scroll down, also for the skull quirking as he followed towards her into the dark. There he is, Blake said heavily. Pyrrha, don't. Ren tried to stop the redhead, but she was already half off the stretcher, limping towards to meet John. Pyrrha? John gasped when he saw her legs beginning to buckle and thrust forward. catching her before she fell. Clung onto him as he lowered her down to her knees. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. This Arcos fan is happy now. Pierce taunted her shoulder. What happened? Ren asked. Your aura reading is still showing nothing. I don't know, John says. Pierre continued to click on. I don't feel any different. How long ago did you unlock your aura, kid? Crow asked, crossing his arms. Oh, last semester. Pierre helped me, John stated. I was afraid of that, Crow said, pulling out his flask. You shouldn't have even been here. It's a miracle you made it this long. It's rare, but if you wait this late in life to unlock your aura, it won't sustain. You've been burned out. I hate to tell you this, kid, but your huntsman days are done. He said. Pierre clung to him even harder. Miss Nikos, we have to get that ankle and other injuries looked at, Professor Goodwood said, racing to help her back onto the stretcher. But Redhead just held on to John tighter. It's okay. We'll talk about this later, okay? John said, easing Pierre's arm from him. She finally reluctantly relented, and Professor Goodwin and Wren held her to the stretcher to be taken to the mountless medical ship. Wren followed behind, and Nora stalled a moment to stare at John. A moment before following herself, as well as to Team Ruby to be checked over. Are you serious? What did I do to burn out my aura? John asked, looking at his hands. Are you kidding, kid? Crow shook his head. You have more aura now than anyone in the world. He said, taking a swig from his flask. It's too much for the aura trackers to read, so it shows nothing. Then why did you tell them I lost it? Can't be a hunter anymore? John asked. They find out on their own. It's all well and good, Crow said. But your secret must be protected. You can't do what you do and be a member of a hunting team. What happens if you're needed somewhere while on a mission, in the middle of the night in a dorm with those three? There can only be so many excuses. You have to keep them all at arm's length, or else you might well put on a hoodie. Hi, I'm He-Man. Nice to meet ya. It's for their own good, kid, and yours. Oh, John said, bowed his head. Not saying you still can't be friends, but you can't be too close. You're gonna have to tell a lot of lies. Especially to that pretty redhead, Crow said. That's another reason I have to get you out of Team Juniper. A team requires trust with one another. It wouldn't be fair to them or you. It's better this way. Come on, we got a lot to talk about. While I was down, things are gonna get busy. Crow took a very long swig, especially for me. Several days passed since the Battle of Beacon. Most of the school had been repaired. Nora and Ren remained at Pierre's side while she was given aura treatments to help her recover her aura, thus heal from her wounds. Yet to the once-thought invincible girl and her teammates' disappointment, the former teammate had not made only a few short appearances with flowers, but quickly left without more than a goodbye. Meanwhile, with Yang, Blake, and Weiss, especially were concerned about Ruby. Since the battle, she had lost a lot of her chipper personality. At the time, Ruby sat alone in her dorm room when a knock came at the door.
Door's unlocked.
Hey, kid, Crow said as he entered.
Hi.
Ruby said, glancing up at him, returning back to the window. Heard you taking Dawson's death pretty hard, Crow said as he sat down beside her.
Yeah, but that's not it.
Ruby said.
Well, I iced, and how they connected me to that He-Man guy.
What about it? Crow asked curiously.
During the fight in Beacon, when I was helping him, it was weird. When I looked at his sword, I looked at it. It felt stronger. I said it did something to me.
What did it do, Ruby?
I got faster, stronger. You know, it was doing more moves than I ever knew before.
Ruby said.
I said my eyes and Crescent Rose started to glow silver.
She looked up at her master.
Uncle Crow, who is he? And what's the deal with that sword and me?
According to legend, silver-eyed warriors who had eyes like yours, the warrior He-Man, came from the same place, draw the power from the same source. His power is tied to our great power, focused in an ancient castle that has been lost for a very long time. Crow explained, unlike the Grimm's drawing on negativities in the world, that power is the focus of every positive emotion in the world. That's why the Grimm fear him, and you.
So, I have special powers like him?
Ruby asked. You'll have to find out for yourself, one day, Crow said, standing up, hopefully a long time from now. Come on, kid. You don't want to miss the school assembly, he said, pulling her up. Followed her out of the room. Paused in the hallway as he stopped to look back.
Uncle Crow?
Ruby asked, buzzing him with a smile. Go on, kid. I'll see you there. Crow waved. He watched her go before closing his eyes and lowering his head sadly. Damn it. Why, Ruby? He cursed, growing angrier and angrier, fate and destiny by the day. Team Ruby stood patiently to the crowd of students knelt in a complete revolt to the assembly hall. They had lost many classmates from the size of the crowd. Many lost their eyes in what had become the Battle of Beacon, while many others, after seeing the dirty side of battle, decided that being a huntsman or huntress was not what they wanted to do, and returned to their respective homes. Ruby then spotted Ren, Nora, and Pyrrha. Pyrrha had recovered much of her aura, and healed most of her wounds from the harrowing battle, but still walked with an obvious limp. The proud huntress refused the help of a crutch or the arm of either of her teammates, yet there was a little sadness in all their eyes, no doubt for the absence of their fourth team member. May I have your attention, please? Professor Goodwin walked up to the microphone, drawing all eyes up to the stage. As many of you know, we lost our beloved headmaster, Professor Osmond, she said, allowing a moment of silence for the fallen professor. But in his honor and his memory, the memory and honor of those who gave their lives to defend this school and the Kingdom of Vale, Beacon will go on. You who remain will continue to train and defend the world from the grim. Now that you have gotten a taste of the threats you will face in the near future, it pleases to see you all remaining tall and strong. Upon Professor Osmond's wishes, a new headmaster of this esteemed academy, allow me to introduce you to your new headmaster, she said, the smile growing more and more forced by the moment. Professor Crow Bronwyn! She motioned, and the crowds clapped, and Ruby squealed when Crow walked out onto the stage. Going to walk away, she muttered to herself, God help us. Alright, kids, Crow said with a sad smirk. Myself and the school staff are going to do our very best to get things back to as they were before the fight. If you never lost a teammate or more, tomorrow you'll be assigned new teammates and a new teammate. Also, I don't have the relationship with all of you as Professor Osmond had. I have hired an assistant who knows you all a lot better. Let me introduce you to my assistant, John Ark. What? Weiss exclaimed as the rest of Team Ruby and Pyrrha, Nora, and Ren stared at John sheepishly, watching it out beside Crow. Want to say something, kid? Crow smiled, patting John on his shoulder. Hi, he said, glancing around the crowd, putting down a smile at the completely stunned look from Card and his team, forced to wave a nausea down at the look from his former team. I wasn't sure what I was going to do after I lost the ability to be a huntsman. But I appreciate the opportunity, Professor Brandwin, Goodwin, and the rest of the staff to help you all become the best huntsmen and huntresses you can be. Professor Osmond left us some big shoes to fill. We'll do our very best to fill them going forward. Couldn't have said it better myself, Crow said, slapping his back. Alright then, take the rest of the day off. Team's missing members will be notified on when tomorrow they'll be given new teammates shortly. Pierre looked up, hoping to see John coming toward him. Her eyes sadly as he saw him turn, walking the opposite direction. Come on, Pyrrha. Let's get you off that leg, Ren said, taking her arm gently. She nodded and followed him after him. Ren stopped to look back towards Nora. Coming, Nora?
Hold on a second.
She smiled brightly.
Gotta go potty.
She said, waving back.
Be there in a few minutes.
Meanwhile, John sighed, walking alone. Walking away from them was the hardest thing he had ever done. But like Crow said, for her own good. She just had to get used to this.
Hey, John.
He closed his eyes when he heard Nora's voice, and the sound of her feet as he ran towards him. He turned to see a frown on her usually smiling face. Nora, what's wrong? John asked with a fake smile.
Oh, I don't know.
Nora crossed her eyes.
You tell me. He-Man.
In a dark, dreary chamber, Cinderfall groaned as she slowly came to. She held her over, couldn't see out of her left eye. What happened? She said in a hoarse voice. That's what I would like to know, her mistress said, staring down at her with red eyes. What went wrong, my dear? Why does Beacon still stand? Things were going perfectly. Osmond defeated. The story is chosen. Then this giant showed up. Cinder coughed. A giant? Her mistress asked, hint of dread and anger in her voice. I used the maid's flames on him, enough to destroy a building. His sword has sorted it all. Sent it back to me. My aura, I withstand it. Then he destroyed the dragon, Cinder explained. He wore brown fur armor and a metal chestplate. His name, Cinderella. What was his name? Her mistress' voice shook. He called himself He-Man. No, not when we were this close! Mrs. eyes glowed violently red before turning on her heel, stormed out from her room, slamming her door behind almost hard enough to rip us off his senses. We must put this fight further, Wish said, glaring at the others in the hall. Greyskull has made it, and its champion's presence known again. We must plan accordingly. Please, let champion, the smiling man said, crossing on a chair. We'll end him like we did those surprise fools who tried to oppose us. Just one more fire to kick out of the way. He-Man is far more than just a fire, Tyrion. Wish frowned silently. Everyone who's tried to defeat the champion in the past has failed. We must. I must not make the same mistake again. Okay. This Vic. It's fun. This is the example of the very, very, very less evil Mary Sue's brother. What we in the business like to call a Marty Stew. Not exactly where, somebody has complete overpower. No. A Marty Stew can actually happen in the show, like, for instance, All Good Things in Star Trek. This happens when a character has precognitive notion of the current events that would happen in canon, but then they are able to change it, are able to fix it. So they're able to change things. And in this case, that's what happened to the story. We gave John the ability to know what was going to happen in the show and told him how to change things, how to fix it. And in this case, it kind of works. I like the idea that somehow Greyskull and all the events of Eternia are all the past of Remnant, are in the ancient past, way back before all this started. I also like the idea that John is somehow Ab's descendant. I also like the idea that they incorporated and found a way to actually ask what would happen if Beacon had still stood, and also took a good long look at He-Man and Pyrrha's relationship. I also like the use of Pyrrha as kind of an Orko XP. Downsides? Well, I won't say if I feel like He-Man is as overpowered as, say, a certain lady on a fig art we're reading, because we haven't read the rest of the story yet. But then again, He-Man technically was overpowered even in his own show, so, I mean, this is the guy who says, I like to do something that most would think is impossible. But still, this is a pretty fun fic, and I recommend reading it. Well, it was one down, that's more to go. I'll see you all next time. And next time, expect a bad fic. Oh yes, we are going to make him suffer again.